Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Back Nine coverage of the second annual Battle for Bedford, presented by Blue Chip Technologies and hosted by Bedford County Parks and Rec. If you haven't watched the front nine, go ahead and jump over to do that. But we are in a little bit of a battle. You've kind of taken a lead over this card, but Barry Schultz is tearing up the course at this point a little bit. And hole 10 is a pretty straightforward shot. You just want to throw a mid straight. And speaking of Bedford Parks and Rec, huge shout out to them for building out this green. You can see how steep the hill is, and the green is perfectly flat because they brought so much dirt in and cut it into the side of this hill. Pretty scenic looking green there. Yeah,
it is. It's probably kind of iconic for this course, just seeing how it's built up. And this hole, it's only 298 feet. It's straightforward, but it's a tough one.
Yeah,
it's a struggle.
Straightforward doesn't always mean easy. It's right there. It looks easy. But I think part of it is all the danger down the hill to the left.
Yeah, and I think the holes leading up to it is kind of taking you out of this mindset of like, oh, this is a gimme.
Yeah.
And I shanked mine to the left, and Lance and Schwebby. That's a pretty good spot.
I like Lance's play there. Throwing the forehand to the side of the hill. Stuff tends to filter down this hill. Same with Brodie just throwing. Oh, my gosh, that could go in.
That's a perfect line right there.
Wow. Yeah, just throwing something flippy like that. Missing towards the right is going to filter you back towards the basket and kind of avoid that left side danger. Because as you can tell here, that does not look fun.
I was going to say it looked pretty fun. But
great shot out of there. Jeez.
Yeah, I actually had a lot of practice down there leading up to this event. So I kind of knew the play there. Throw it up the hill and let it just slide back down. I was able to execute that. And Brodie with a great birdie.
And Lance as well.
Lance with a great putt right there.
Getting the back nine started.
And I may have messed up the start frame here.
No, man. Almost. But Schwebby just chains out a little bit right side. He got the height up. In the front nine, he was struggling with getting the nose down, but just missed it a little bit right.
Yeah, that's one that you don't want to miss right there, because there's not many birdies like that come up on this course.
Even this hole, it pushes straight, seems pretty straightforward, but the end, it just kind of comes down left here. And the way the drone flies isn't really the way your disc is going to end up going. It's going to push a little bit straighter, and then it's blocked by a few trees. You almost want to just throw the disc straight and have like a 30-footer, down to the basket.
Or a forehand roller. I mean, that works too.
Is an interesting play.
Yeah, but like what the flight that the drone flew there is, if you threw something overstable, got a nice skip, you'll actually get that severe skip to the left. But like you said, you want to play it straight. I got my buzz here. I'm trying to just put it down that alley on the right and take the 30-foot putt if I can get it. And that's way right. That's over there with Brodie.
So there's not a lot over there. And Schwebby, I don't think he was trying to throw. Did he hit a tree?
Yeah, he hit the one right in the middle. You want to go left of that one, and he caught it and pulled that backhand to the right. He was trying to throw a flex shot. And that filtered way down.
Yeah, I was going to say that pushed all the way through everything.
And I'm going with the forehand touch shot here.
Just didn't give it enough height.
Yeah, just a little too much touch on it.
Lance, on the other hand, gave it plenty of height. That was a great line. If it had a little bit more, it might have had a chance of going in.
And long par save right here.
Oh.
Just swung it out a little bit right. Brodie trying to save par, just a little short. So we're going to have quite a few bogeys here. I got to make this to save my bogey. And that felt a lot better than the previous putt.
Schwebby tapping on his bogey. Lance able to save par, and Brodie with the bogey as well. Now, hole 12 here, the drone's flying through the straight gap, but you'll see a lot of pros, actually maybe everyone on this card, I'm not sure if Schwebby will, but a lot of pros will elect to go with a forehand through the left side. It's a little bit tighter, or only has one tight gap, excuse me. The right side's a lot tighter. But if you hit that one tight gap, you'll have a little skip up to the basket. No surprise to see Lance going with the forehand here. Most likely something relatively stable. And gets a decent skip, but he'll have a long look at it.
Yeah, I think the benefit of the left side is it is allowing it to skip kind of is better for the speed control. It gets you a little bit closer to the basket. Going down the middle, you basically got to run the ace if you're going that way. And I thought I was going to ace this.
That's about perfect. Yeah, that's the exact way you want to throw the line. And Schwebby does go down the middle there.
Yeah, I think he's trying to play a little bit more right than he did there. And this was an incredible shot when I saw him throw this one.
Wow, it swung it way out there. And
Yeah, that was a beautiful shot. And Lance, most likely trying to throw that in.
yeah, I was going to say, it looked like a run. You know this is trying to be thrown in.
Oh, just off the cage it looked like.
Great line on that. He is insanely accurate with a scooper, which I think is why he goes to it so much. But
Yeah, he's trying to make that his own shot.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty close to just him being the only one that can throw it.
I mean, he's 1 or 2 good makes away from it being the Brodie Smith shot. Hole 13 here is absolutely no joke. You got to get something all the way down to where the drone is now, and then the basket we're flying over isn't actually the basket. It's pushed back to the second basket we're flying to here. An island green, that little path that comes out down through there is OB, and then you got the water on the left to contend with as you kind of push up here. An eagleable hole, but if you go for the eagle, it comes with some considerable risk.
Yeah, you got to be really aggressive, not only on the tee, but the second shot, and you got to be willing to risk a disc.
And this looks pretty aggressive.
Yeah, this is the roller. I actually learned it from Hunter Thomas. You may have heard of him. He was messing around in one of our previous video, and I tried it in practice once, and it worked out great, so I stuck with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only way to really push super far around the corner. Lance had a decent shot, but normally the forehand will end up being cut off a little bit on the right side.
Yeah, and where he is, he should still be able to get a look for birdie, depending on how short he is. But
that looked pretty great from Brodie there.
Yeah, that was a great shot. He somehow got that thing to get around the corner and continue going right. But if you go anywhere early in these woods, it's going to be a tough par. And Schweberger, he went in early, but he was still far enough down.
Yeah, Lance just... He was only like 10, 15 feet from making the corner, but as you could tell there, he had nothing. He was trying to play a skip shot and just didn't quite get the angle right. And Schwebby just going with that white putter. I'm assuming some type of AVR that he's been throwing all over this course.
And Lance was telling us he was going for this from way back there. And he's...
Oh, my word. What a shot. Still going to have an outside look, but, I mean, to even be going for the island from back there is pretty gutsy.
Brodie just landed up, going to take the birdie. Going to take the birdie look is what I was trying to say there. And I was going for it from back there. I felt like I had the window.
Oh, it skipped up there.
Put it up on the island, but unfortunately it rolled OB.
Mm-hmm. So you'll have to take it back from the last spot across the fairway. And Schwebby with a good thumber that's going to just curl up.
Oh, no.
Or maybe not. That is one of the slowest rolls to OB I've seen.
And that's a perfect layup for Brodie right there. To another perfect layup.
Yeah, that's such an intimidating shot, even from where he was at in the perfect spot. You have that hill to contend with, and you've got to match the angle, kind of like you did there, just having something flatten in where you don't have to worry about it. But throwing a forehand into this hill is definitely scary. Yeah,
this shot is actually so hard. You can see Schwebby put it a little bit high, and you can see it flexing out and just going towards the water. Just elevation on this green is difficult. And Lance did run it there, but left it a little bit low. And that's a par for Schweberger.
I think it was actually, it might have been a bogey. Yeah.
Actually, you're right. Yeah, he rolled out of bounds. It could have been, was it just a bogey or
I think it was just a bogey, and then it looked like y'all were tapping out your pars there.
Yeah.
So this is course hole 1, but for the tournament hole 14, just the way it seemed to play a little bit better in this layout. Pushes pretty far forward, and then you got to kind of pick your gap here. The one that flew through here is kind of the preferred gap, especially if you're going with a backhand, but a forehand, you might be able to cut it a little bit later or get an early skip through there. But I feel like most players you'll see throwing this backhand.
Oh, he just did not get that up in the air and pushed it left. This one, it's got these 2 early trees, one on the right and then the one that Brodie hit that you have to contend with early. And then if you pick your angle right, you should be able to flex it through those trees up by the basket. And I left mine a little bit to the right, and Lance actually laced this one right through there.
Yeah, that's that earlier of the 3 gaps you can kind of get to. That leaves you a little short, but definitely a makeable look.
A little inside, but got all the way through there.
He'll have a outside jump putt, most likely just a layup for a 3, but if he wants to run it, he'll have a shot at it.
That's looking good from Brodie.
Came in a little fast, but kicked that tree and stayed pretty close to the basket
just
there.
On the edge of the circle. And I'm looking at like a 45-footer here on the side of the hill.
Oh. At least that's sad. I've seen a lot roll away on that hill.
This is one that feels like a bonus birdie to me if I could get that. If I can get it turned. Oh, just off the top.
And speaking of the roll away,
Yeah, and Schweberger was actually struggling at this point, not in his game or his score, but just with the heat and the hills and stuff like that. That he was.
Oh, was that rolling back to him as well? He was calling for it.
But yeah, that's the element you can't really see here is the heat that we had to deal with. I think
it was extremely humid on top of it. It was in the mid 90s and then a lot of humidity out there.
Yeah, I think either Saturday or Sunday the heat index was like 113 or something.
It was no joke. The woods helped a little bit keep players out of the sun, but you can only do but so much.
Yeah.
This hole, I mean, it kind of speaks for itself. 399 feet, just a straight tunnel shot. You want to play along this path the whole way. Most players you'll see pushing the right side with a backhand and trying to get a little counter skip back up to the basket. It's a little protected by that one final tree, making it where you have to play something that finishes pretty straight.
Every time I step up to this hole, I think I'm at Maple Hill. Maple Hill Gold's hole 7. It's just that straight tunnel. Basket's just over this little hump, but
Lance threw that pretty perfectly.
Yeah, he kept it low. Even if it hit a tree, it wasn't going to kick too far. But I just love how we're able to control the disc through these woods, and you almost immediately know if it's going to be a good shot or not.
As soon as it leaves your hand. Very rewarding fairway to hit, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm going with a fairway driver here, trying to keep it low. But did not
left side.
Yeah, did not execute that as well.
That's something that's
flip up.
That's something that's interesting about this hole as well. Is if you hit on the middle dirt, you're going to get a lot better skip than a little bit left or right. There's a lot of leaves that'll kind of hinder your skip, which just adds a little bit more difficulty to this already hard hole.
Yeah, and that berm on the left, the one I'm standing on right there, if you hit it coming in hyzer, it can roll all the way down the hill to the right.
Yeah, that's true as well. Where Brodie standing just right of him is a pretty severe a hill back down towards hole 14's basket.
And I mean, another thing on this hole is I think this has the hardest rough if you get off the fairway on this hole. If you go left or right, I think this is the one that's the hardest to save par. Lance unfortunately missed the birdie, but got the comeback.
Yeah, nice putt there. Schwebby tapping out for his par.
But I mean, looking at scores right now, I'm the only one under par, and everyone else is over par. But that
just speaks to the course.
That doesn't mean they're out of it either.
No. The majority of the field, the vast majority of the field actually is over par, especially at this point. And part of it is due to holes like this. You've got to push forward, have a disc slowly moving to the right through a tight tunnel, and then back down here where the drone is flying now. You got to throw a backhand hyzer or something along those lines, depending on where you're at, to have it finish a little bit back more to the left. The basket almost is straight off the tee, but the woods just make your disc do a lot more than just go straight.
Yeah, I think at this point on the course, I know Schwebby and Lance and Brodie know that they're over par, but they know there's 3 holes that they could still birdie, but potentially bogey too. So it's just, I think this is where the mental battle starts to creep in.
Lance's shot pushed really far through that left side. He went off the fairway, but that got way up there.
Way down there.
Brodie kicked to. It's going to be a tough spot to get up and down from where he's at.
And that's the line I like to throw right there. The hyzer flip. I don't usually like that skip, but
at least it skipped to the right. I feel like that's the way you want your disc to be moving.
Yeah, but that tree in the middle is the one that you want to miss. Schwebby going over the top.
Looks like a decent finish. We'll see where his ended up. Smart move there from Brodie, just trying to lay up back to the fairway, get a easier second shot. No need to bite something off there. And
distance driver there. That's not what you like to see. You don't like to see yourself 3 times in a row.
Yeah, if you're watching coverage and you see yourself over and over, you know you're not having a great hole.
That's a good angle right there. Just kind of just laying it up right there. I think at the end of that it didn't get too good of a kick, but hopefully he's still in the middle. And I didn't get the turn like I needed. I needed to hit that same angle that Schweberger did.
Were you throwing 2 different wasps, or is that the same wasp both times on that hole?
2 different wasps. Ooh, almost got that one. 2 different wasps. One's brand new, one's really beat up. But here's where Lance's drive ended up.
Jeez.
He had a jump putt for an eagle right there.
Yeah, eagling this hole is pretty unheard of.
I'm almost the same spot as Lance here.
Oh, right off the cage.
Yeah, I saw what he did. He just went with the turnover. I had the little hyzer gap. And Schwebby just laying up, taking his bogey. I think this is for a double?
Yeah, I believe that's a double bogey for Brodie there. Lance with the easy birdie, probably the easiest birdie you'll see, to have a jump putt look and then just a little tap out. I mean, that's unheard of on this hole.
This is one of my favorites right here. Hole 17, 370 feet. Water carry the last, I would say, 100 feet right here. So you basically have to clear that water, and you're going to be close to the basket if you do. But 370 feet for a forehand or a turnover is not easy.
That line looks pretty good. Might end up right of the basket, though. Yeah, skips into the woods a little bit on the right. He'll be out slightly outside the circle with a putt at it.
And the right side's really thick, too. I got mine a little low here, pushing a little straight.
Great angle, though.
But I was able to put it in the circle, catch those trees, and it kind of stopped me there.
The backhand's a tough play on this.
Pulled it a little bit right, but flexing out nicely. Landed in a similar, but just a little bit left of where mine was.
Brodie he's lining up with a lot of Anheuser, ended up just throwing it flat, kind of the same place he wanted his disc to come out with Anheuser, which resulted in him being on this right side and just having to lay up here.
Yeah, he still has those ultimate tendencies sometimes. But he was able to put it right next to the basket, and that was Lance for his birdie. Schweberger. He's got this line right through these trees.
Nice putt. About 25, 30 feet, somewhere in there. Not a super easy putt, but able to execute on it.
Yeah, good birdie to get.
Yeah, that's for sure, especially going into hole 18 coming up back across the water. You definitely want to be coming in off a little bit of momentum from this hole. As we look at it here, you got to hit this tight gap off the initial tee, and then you want to throw a backhand. The shot almost looks like it calls for a forehand up front, but as you can tell, there's a lot of water down to the right, and so you want your disc finishing into this hillside. You just got to miss those initial trees and have something that's pushing straight up this hill. A lot of players will kind of be coming in on hyzer and get a nice little counter skip up to the basket if they're going to have the birdie on this.
Yeah, there's 3 trees just right of the basket. If you hit those, it can still go in the water. And grip lock that one. Pretty bad.
Yeah, that does not. Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't think that was going to have any chance to get across the water there.
No, and I think that disc is still sitting right there.
Man, so you'll be advancing to the drop zone, which is the short tee. Meanwhile, Schwebby has a great line on this one.
Oh, no.
Hit the last tree. Man, unfortunate roll, but he's across, he's safe, and he'll have a look at the birdie.
And Lance, that's got a lot of hyzer there. But I think he ended up flipping. I think that was a really flippy disc. He ended up turning it over into the woods.
Yeah, I think he ended up on that left side there. It's kind of hard to see off the tee some of these. And Brodie going with his Undertaker, I believe.
That's nearly perfect right there.
Great line on it. Crowd loves it. So yeah, this is from the AM tee.
This is the drop zone right there. Just a Luna upshot. Did scare me a little bit. I thought it was tracking towards that tree, but I just missed it left and got it about 10, 15 feet.
Schwebby just laying up there for his par. And this is where Lance ended flipping up to, just laying up. Smart move there. This is too risky with one to run. And Brodie tapping out with the only birdie on this hole to go to +2 for the round. You'll tap out with a bogey to go to 4 under. And then Schwebby and Lance tapping out their pars to be tied with Brodie at 2 over. So going into tomorrow,
the final round,
we've got Paul at 4 under, Barry Schultz at 3 under, Taylor Brooks at 2 under, and then Brad Lescalite sneaks onto the lead card with an even 3-way tie, and the rest of the field below them is all over par. Just kind of speaks to how difficult this course is, but be on the lookout for the round 2 coverage coming out soon.